The part that I'm not a huge fan of is that this is gonna definitely bring competition to GameStops, because honestly, with like the last year, like all of my best pickups were from GameStop, and that brought me in over and over again. I was a consistent customer because I was finding all these deals. There are retro game stores around me that have unbelievable inventory, stuff that will blow your mind, but I'm not gonna buy it because it's probably way over market. The only reason I would buy it is if it was under market. So I was a consistent customer because I was consistently finding deals. If that starts to evaporate, so will the amount of times that I go back to GameStop.
What's up, guys? I am way too old for this, and I think it's time for us to talk about GameStop Retro to see if what you guys think about it. I think that it's an interesting topic, and I think we should discuss it. Now, I've been doing a lot of shopping at GameStop recently, and the way they actually set up their retro is kind of deceptive the way they talk about it. Like that, the way they're making it sound or the way it's marketing that they're going to be specific stores dedicated to only retro, when in reality, it's just a couple shelves. It's a little space in the back that didn't know what to do with. So I said, okay, let's rename this and put all the retro stuff there. Because if you go to any GameStop, you're gonna find PS3 games and 360 games. Just some just have. I think the only difference I would say is they have those new cases with they have new marketing on the cases, which honestly leaves a little bit to be desired. But I think that's the only difference. And they had a whole marketing campaign about it on social media, telling us that, oh, this is going to be new, it's different, it's fresh. It's not fresh, it's actually really old. Actually, maybe 20 years old. But all that said, I'm actually a fan of GameStop taking in retro games because they honestly almost always during the sales will sell you this stuff underpriced. So they're kind of just doing the work for us. Like they're sourcing it for us and giving it to us for really good deals. I'm just afraid the toll this is going to take on the regular mom and pop shops, because now that everyone's hearing about it, there are probably tons of people that still have this stuff lying in their closet and they don't know actually what it's worth and they don't really care. So they'll trade it in for pretty much pennies on the dollar just to get it out of their house. I know to some of us that sounds crazy, but it happens pretty much almost every day. And these are all some of the games that I've actually picked up recently from GameStop. Like, this is the definition of retro games. Like, to find these, I was really excited to find these. So in that sense, it is pretty cool that they're doing this. Like, to find all these old NES games, like, and they're all in really good condition. All the labels are really, really clean. But it did make me think that the person that traded in these recently, they had to have heard about it from the new campaign that you can trade in these old games. And if there are people that still have games this old lying around, there are people that have tons of 360 games and 360 games from that generation. Those games sold tons. And I know that this is definitely a multifaceted, interesting conversation. A lot of people are going to think that it's a really bad thing. A lot of people think that it's going to be a really good thing. I'm kind of somewhere in the middle because I do think it's better that they're taking this stuff because it's a lot easier for us to find. Like, what other store would have a Rad Racer NES or any of these old ones? Like, it's only going to be old retro game stores that are usually overpriced and never have sales. So I think this idea is better for the consumer. But there are a lot of issues with it, good or bad. I'm not sure if they're actually working for the forces of good or the forces of evil yet, but it is an interesting conversation. Because we all know how they used to treat the old video games when they used to get games that used to be traded in and they used to destroy the artwork or throw out the CD. They used to slice them up and throw them out. People used to find them in the garbage all the time just because they couldn't sell it. They would just destroy it. If they couldn't have it, no one could. I left a really bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, especially people that wanted to preserve this stuff. So right off the bat, if I wanted to talk crap about them, it would probably be really easy. I would never do that. Like, I don't really like spreading negativity, but if I did, it'd be really easy to do. I would never do that though. But I just don't know who they're trying to appeal with this, because if you're trying to get the collectors, maybe they realize that there's actually a market for this stuff, trying to get collectors to buy the old stuff. Why would they destroy the artwork? Like, if they get an N64 box, are they just gonna crush up the box and throw it out and keep the cartridge? That sounds insane to me. And I guess for them, it used to be regular practice, when sometimes the boxes and the artwork are more expensive than the actual game. They have to know this stuff. Or the way they would open a new game just to be able to sell it as pre-owned, allegedly. Because I think they make almost no money on the game if they sell it new. but their margins are higher if they sell it pre-owned. Even if it retails for 60 new, and for, I think the really new ones, when they say pre-owned, they'll probably sell it for $5 cheaper. They're still making more money on it than if they would have sold it new. Cover arts, manuals, all the stuff they probably destroyed boggles my mind. And not only that, when they sell you fake games, that's also a really big issue. They send me faulty stuff all the time. I get faulty and fake stuff all the time, and that's a very big problem that they have to fix. Not that I would ever want to dunk on them, but that is one gripe that I do have. And another thing that does kind of bother me is how they don't tell you what kind of game you're buying when you look at the site. It's, on eBay, you get a ton of pictures, you'll find condition, you'll figure out if it's CIB, if it's sealed. You can check all that stuff. Even Lukey Games does it. I think even DK Oldies does it, for Christ's sake. But GameStop does not do that. So you don't know what kind of game you're going to get when you order them online. And I think that's very off-putting, and it's a really big problem. I've been seeing recently, especially with the retro stuff, like I'll see that they'll have, a GameCube game that does have the loose picture. So that one you're definitely going to get screwed on, but there are still times that you order it and it just has the regular cover art and the front and back of it, and you get the game and it's only CD in one of their terrible pre-owned GameStop things. And you had no idea that was going to happen. You had no clarity of what you were buying. They're a multi-million-dollar company. I'm sure that there's some way they can implement that kind of technology on their website. And there has to be a reason that they're not doing it. It's probably easier for them just to sell you whatever they have at market price, and you don't know what you're going to get. They have to know that CIB is worth more than a loose disc. There's no way that they don't know that if this game was complete in box with the manual, minting condition, sealed, it's worth more than $10. I can't imagine that they don't know that. So the whole thing is just very weird. It's like they do it a little bit to say that they do, but there's so many times that they don't distinguish the difference between CIB or condition or anything, that, I don't know, they have to know the difference. And I'm pretty sure on top of that, I've been seeing games, retro games, at GameStop for probably like 2 years now. I've been buying. I'm pretty sure that some of the receipts I have, they're dated back 2 years. So this isn't a new concept. And the way they're marketing it, it's like it's brand new. Or maybe it was just like a 2-year soft opening to see how it would go, and they see that it is profitable, so now they're gonna really push it to the masses. Or maybe these stores will be better trained and they'll be more well versed in the prices and to check the authenticity. Maybe that's what the retro GameStops are gonna be. But I'm not that sure, because I'm pretty sure every GameStop's going to be taking them. So there's going to be some stores that are going to be easy to trade crap in and some that aren't. That doesn't really make that much sense to me. Because I know that there are people that trade in fake Pokemon games because they're actually really easy to probably get off. Like to get over a high school kid's head that this is a fake game, like it's probably kind of easy. Like I'm pretty sure they're going to get more foot traffic now in these retro GameStops from probably just regular people seeing the commercial, or collectors like me that want to try to find good deals and know that GameStop has good deals on this stuff, way more than a mom and pop shop would. But in the end, GameStop is just trying to make money. Like we know with all the GameStop meme stuff, they probably were able to make a lot of money off the meme stuff, but they're not a very profitable company. I think they just had their first profitable quarter just now in like years. So their business model isn't the best, but they probably have so much saved up. They probably have millions, honestly, probably close to billions saved up from all the money they made during the GameStop meme fiasco. And this is not the first time GameStop have pivoted. They used to just sell strictly games, and now they used to sell clothes, toys, pops, Pokemon cards. I know a GameStop by me that even sells phones. And I'm pretty sure they do all that just to raise their bottom line. So every decision they make has to have that in mind. And maybe them trying to be in so many different markets, they've left areas to exploit in these, not pricing these games properly, and always selling them under market. But it still has to be good for them, because they're probably paying pennies on the dollars fees. And if these are the prices they're putting on it, I'm sure that they're, if not doubly, I'm sure they probably only paid probably less than 20% of this just to get this game. So I know that they're making their margins on this, and it's still under market value. And I just want to say I really appreciate you guys subscribing. My PR team is actually on vacation, so I do answer all my comments. I really want to know what you guys are thinking about the retro GameStop concept and how they're implementing it. I really started this channel for conversations like this to see what people out there are thinking and to see if I'm way off base with some of the ways that I'm thinking, or if I'm just trying to reinforce my own dumb ideas. That's kind of what I came here for. That's most of the reason why I made the channel. But the truth is, I don't really think that this is going to work. Like, after the big marketing push and after all the YouTubers, which me and myself am obviously guilty of, after we stopped talking about it, because honestly, this has been going on for years. Like, they just started telling the masses on Twitter and everything, but this has been going on for years. And when the hype around this dies down, I don't know what's going to be left. Because the biggest problem that all these stores have is inventory. So when this stuff dries up, like when collectors go through it and the masses aren't really going to be super interested in it, it's only going to be a bunch of sports titles and a bunch of Assassin's Creed games left and a bunch of Barbie games, which, well, don't sleep on Barbie. I know that's why you all came here, is because of the Barbie theme. But when all this stuff does dry up, I don't know what it's going to be like after. I don't know what that ruined hellscape is going to look like after, when all these games are gone. I don't know if there's a big enough audience to satisfy taking in all of these games, looking for retro games. And the pricings are all over the place. Like, I'm looking for ones that are underpriced, but there are way more that are overpriced. So when that market is satisfied and those loose games are going to sit there forever, they're going to be too expensive and no one is going to buy them. But for now, I am enjoying it. I'm going to ride the wave as much as I can until this gravy train's come to a screeching halt. But until then, I do find it very fun to be able to go in and find nice, cool old titles like this that are in really good condition. Like, I find CIB games there all the time, but the problem is that you really have to go in and look for them yourself, because ordering them online, like, you never really know what you're gonna get. But they are coming CIB in really good condition. But that's just some of my thoughts on the matter, guys. I'm really curious to see what you guys are gonna think. Is this a good or bad thing? Is it a complete nothing burger? It's just GameStop trying to pull a momentary monetary gain, and all this stuff is going to dry up and go back to normal. But until then, I'm going to have some fun treasure hunting for old gems. But that's going to do it for me, guys. I really appreciate you guys watching. I am way too old for this. Peace.